Hey VC, back with a new video of vinyl finds. I've had a pretty interesting few weeks of buying records. Spent a bit more than usual, just because I've been out with the fellas a couple of times. I'm not sure. I think James mentioned in his video that we went out and saw the Fire Orchestra, and or not the orchestra, but Fire with Mats Gustafsson. They travelled to Melbourne to do a show, and we spent some time there and bought some records there. And we had another catch up at Campo's place, Anthony Camplone, and we went out and had a bit of a dig there too, plus a couple of others. So there's a few here to show, but I'll try and make it short. Anyway, I just wanted to start off with this one. Been chasing this record for a really long time for a good price, and I finally found it for a good price. It's whatever she sings we bring, by Kevin Ayers. Beautiful original press, and I was absolutely stoked to find this. However, I pulled it out of the very poor packaging. I know this is going to break some people's hearts, and that's what we got there. A big split in the record. Some dickhead packed it so poorly, like it was basically two pieces of thin cardboard just taped around. There was no padding, there was no bubble wrap, nothing. And of course the record is completely screwed now. It's busted. This is an original press, 1972, brilliant album. I was really stoked. And this is the first time this has ever happened to me. And as you can imagine, I was pretty wild about it. Wrote some pretty poor feedback. Well, honest feedback about a poor service. So all the way from Denmark to Australia in a thin piece of card. Dickhead. Anyway, I'll move on because that just frustrates me. The other part that frustrates me is that he wouldn't refund the money either. He was just being a dick. Okay, Richie Havens, Mixed Bag. Richie Havens, most probably know him from the appearance at Woodstock, where he does a really kick-ass live set of acoustic sort of folk blues. He's a sensational singer. He doesn't write many songs. He sort of plays traditional songs, or back then he played a lot of contemporary songs, Dylan songs and stuff like this. This is his, I think, maybe first or second record. I'll have to check that, actually, don't quote me. But I bought it specifically for the track High Flying Bird. I think that's his best sort of performance. I saw him do it on a video once, many years back, and I just always was fascinated by the way he sings, this big sort of cavernous, dark voice, and his way of strumming and tapping his feet and stuff. He's a really great entertainer. Mixed Bag is a nice record. This is an original press on Verve from '67, I think. '68, I'm not sure. I'll have to check that too. But yeah, this is a wild record. Really nice pressing too. Another one that came in was this record here, Julie Tippett's Sunset Glow. Interestingly enough, and I didn't know this at the time, but when I bought this came sealed, and I'm talking about properly. I had to actually crack it open. Yeah, this is original press as well, from US pressing. Beautiful gatefold cover that had never been opened until I opened it. So it's just got a little nick out of it there. I didn't pay too much, to be honest, for what it is. It's an immaculate copy of an old classic, and I only paid something like, I don't know, $15 US. So yeah, very stoked with that. Another one that came in the mail. This was high on my want list for a while, and I never thought I'd actually see a copy under $200, but I did. I found one, which I negotiated the price on, and it's a minty copy of Pascal Dufault and his record, I think you pronounce it Day et Fou. It's a French record. This guy played in Magma, in the original Magma, I think. But he's a songwriter in his own right, and this album is really a fantastic example of where chanson meets Zuel or Zul, however you want to pronounce it, music. In fact, there's probably very few examples of that, but this is something worth exploring for those people that are interested in those styles, French avant-garde Zul music. And it has this folk edge to it because of the way the singer presents the songs over the top of this wild avant-garde band. Yeah, excellent record. Played this a few times. Funnily enough, it's quite a wild record, and it's released on the old CBS label. And I think the French have this wonderful tradition of celebrating on a large scale left of centre and outsider art. I think that's wonderful about their country and their their culture. Anyway, Day et Fou is a really great record. I recommend to people who like Zul music or French avant-garde music. I was saying a bit earlier that I went to Campo's place caught up with Champ Sound and James Buttery, and I met for the first time Scott Buckley, who's part of the Facebook group that's out there. You guys might know him. But it was really good catch up. We just hung out, played records all day, and we went down to the local store, Round and Round Records, where the fellas picked up some awesome things. I was really happy to walk away with these two records. We got the first and the second Tactics records. That's the second one. That's the first one. Tactics are a Sydney band, Sydney, Australia. Post-punk era power pop meets sort of art pop. It's art rock, in the way that television or things like that, they've got this quirky edge to their pop songs, which really makes them outstanding. But they're so catchy, some of these songs. They're just written in a really clever way, which sort of separates them from your regular commercial music. These recordings are on the Larrikin label, I think. Well, this one is for sure. Yes, this one is as well. Larrikin is a pretty famous Australian label that mainly deals with folk records, actually, underground folk stuff. But yeah, these two, I was really stoked to find these two, because I've never seen them in stores, and I know a little bit about them just through researching Australian music and stuff, but these are really fine records to have for me. So yeah, was wrapped with those. A couple of weeks back, we're back into work now, and I just sort of stay a bit close to home where we're this busy, and so I go to my local record store, which is only sort of 15 minutes away in the car. I'm not even 10 minutes away in the car. And it's hit and miss. It's like a big Dixon's Recycled Records is like a big warehouse filled with records and CDs and DVDs and stuff. And I'm talking the size of an airport hangar. It's massive, and it's all just floor space. Really nice, really open. I probably know most records there back to front because I go there quite regularly, and I can almost flick through and not have to I can see straight away when there's new stuff that's come in. Anyway, this one was staring right at me when I walked in there the other day, and it's been on my list of things to get. This is Jean-Paul Sartre Experience from New Zealand. The Size of Food. This came out in the 90s. I think maybe even 1990 or 1989 maybe. and this is a fantastic sort of indie neo psychedelia sort of record. Big sound, really cool vocals. This guy's a good songwriter. It's on the Flying Nun label, and it was just, yeah, staring right at me. Beautiful, nice, fresh copy. So yeah, stoked to have this. And finally, I just want to mention that you know, I've been getting back into my folk sounds, folk records lately, and so that's inspired me to go and buy a whole heap more folk records. Every now and again I get some beauties recommended to me by you know, people on their Facebook group or Instagram or whatever. Chris Cole is one of the big influences for me. If you guys don't know Chris Cole, I'm sure you know Chris Cole. He's a very generous person with his, not only his knowledge, but the time that he puts into his people, you know, by you know, scrolling constantly through these things and then sending links out to people and then sending VCLT packages. He's just a really wonderful person. But he recommended me this, and I grabbed it on his recommendation, and I wasn't sorry. This is Dorothy Carter's Troubadour. It's still in the shrink. Sorry about the glare there. But this is a lovely folk record, predominantly on the hammered dulcimer. As you can see there, the photo. Sorry about the glare. This is really great. Sort of Celtic inspired folk music, mainly instrumental. I think there's a couple of tracks where they're singing. But yeah, beautiful French medieval, Celtic medieval stuff. Really love this. Another one that I bought for a folk record, it was this one here, Mike Cooper's Trout Steel. This is an absolutely awesome singer-songwriter record. And I think it fetches a pretty penny now. This is an original press that wasn't cheap, but still much cheaper than what it's been going for on Discogs and stuff. It's on the Dawn label, and this is a really nice copy. Mike Cooper's Trout Steel is one of those pivotal folk records, I think, and that sort of, you know, in some ways was only rediscovered later, but was quite an exceptional artist at the time. So yeah, there's some records. Want to give a big hello to everyone out there who's still watching. I appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, hopefully I can make some more videos soon. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
There's a high flying bird flying way up in the sky, and I wonder if she looks down as she goes on by.